It's funny how a long journey can bring you back to the place where you started. Today we are revisiting one of the earliest cocktails we made on this channel, the Rum Old Fashioned. And we're making it even better. Well, both really. This is the Chocolate Rum Old Fashioned 2.0, and it really was a journey to get to the recipe I'm happy with. You'll see why later. It's got all of the best parts of a chocolate chip cookie, combined with the Rum Old Fashioned, and for garnish, a chocolate chip cookie, based on a recipe from Jeffrey Morgenthaler himself. We really cover all of the cravings.
It's cocktail time!
Welcome to the fourth and final episode of our Rum and Chocolate Masterclass. In the true Artisans of Taste spirit, which is a program championed by Diplomatico Rum, I went on a mission to elevate the simple but delicious Rum Old Fashioned, which we've covered back in 2020. That was a pretty straightforward Old Fashioned, made with Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva rum, rich Demerara syrup, homemade chocolate and coffee bitters, stirred with the addition of an orange peel, served in a rocks glass or a clear ice block, and garnished with a piece of dark chocolate sprinkled with salt. Small additions to the classic that made it its own, but also something we can now build upon and develop further. And that exploration or the journey to try and come up with something new is often what makes mixology so fun, but also challenging. The final recipe ended up being pretty simple, but it really took me a lot of trial and error to get it right. You don't usually get to see the R&D part of the process, but I think it's important for everybody to know that new cocktail ideas don't always pop into your mind as a finished recipe. My first draft was a cookie syrup made with two enzymes, amylase and glucosidase. In short, amylase breaks starches into dextrins and sugars, and glucosidase takes those dextrins down to glucose for sweetness and fermentability. The syrup tasted great, but with a small amount it wasn't pungent enough to turn the old-fashioned into a true cookie experience. If you have any ideas on what cocktails a cookie syrup might be great in, drop those in the comments. The second attempt was a cookie milk wash, like we did with a donut old-fashioned and Browne in Manhattan. That was of course inspired by James Hoffman's Drinking Donut in Coffee episode. The method worked great in the donut old-fashioned, but even then we ran into a scenario I really wanted to avoid with this one. Alongside a slight starchy note, the cocktail also turned cloudy when chilled with ice. This phenomenon, known as lushing, or the ouzo effect, happens when oils, which are soluble in alcohol at higher concentrations, separate out when diluted. Long story short, I wanted the cocktail to look just as good as it should taste. So it was back to the drawing board. And then I realized I have to look at the cookie as the sum of its parts, and start there. Splitting the cookie into components meant I can incorporate them separately into the drink. Chocolate, butter, sweetness, vanilla, nuttiness, salt. It all came together after that. So here are the ingredients that will make our improved chocolate cookie rum old fashioned. First, the brown buttered rum, adding body and rich buttery, nutty notes. Next, the cacao liqueur, giving us notes of chocolate and vanilla, plus the sweetness. Instead of the regular stir with the orange peel, I'll be adding orange bitters, skipping the coffee in this recipe. If you like those notes in the cocktail as well, feel free to add a few beans for a caffeinated regal stir. And the salt we added on top of the chocolate bar is of course being added as saline solution. To really bring home the point of what the whole cocktail tastes like, we'll add the garnish of a whole chocolate chip cookie. So now that we know what ingredients did end up coming together nicely, let's go over how to make those ingredients. We'll be using the sous vide technique for both, because that gives us the most control over temperature and time, while also ensuring a very precise and efficient infusion of flavors. For the first part of making the cacao liqueur, we'll need crushed cacao nibs, cacao butter, vanilla bean, and Diplomatico's Mantuano rum as the base. Sugar and dilution come last. Mantuano is Diplomatico's versatile medium-bodied blend, aged for up to 8 years with notes of dried fruit, vanilla, and a gentle spice. It's perfect for infusions like this, because it gives us a rich backbone while still letting the chocolate shine. We already covered how to make DIY white creme de cacao, but the dark version is known for a richer, more intense chocolate flavor and a deep brown color, so it will be perfect for our cocktail. Into a sous vide bag, add 14 ounces or 420 ml of Mantuano rum, 40 grams of crushed cacao nibs, 125 grams of cacao butter, and 2 grams of scraped out and chopped vanilla bean. Seal the bag under vacuum, so nothing escapes during the infusion. Place it into a sous vide bath. Set to 55 degrees Celsius or 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And let it infuse for 4 hours, shaking the bag occasionally to keep everything well mixed. As that starts cooking, we'll make our brown buttered rum, and to really infuse those buttery flavors into the rum, we'll add it into the same sous vide bath. And as the name suggests, you'll need just butter and rum. Just like 5 years ago, we are again going with Diplomatico's Reserva Exclusiva. It's smooth and luxurious, which makes it an incredible base for a rum old fashioned. Here we'll make it even more decadent by washing it with brown butter first. Add 40 grams of unsalted butter to a small pan and gently heat until melted. Keep stirring with a spoon so the solids don't burn. The butter will foam, the water will evaporate, and you'll start seeing golden specks at the bottom. That's where the nutty, toasty flavor comes from. So we're not straining that out. When the butter fully turns a deep golden brown and smells wonderfully nutty, carefully put it into a jar and top it up with 400 ml of Reserva Exclusiva rum. Keep in mind that the butter will still be hot, so carefully stir to combine. Seal the jar and place it into the sous vide bath alongside our cacao infusion. Cooking for the same 4 hours, shaking it occasionally to help the flavor mingle. Once the time is up, chill both infusions to room temperature. Then place them in the freezer. You'll see the butter solidify in the jar. And same for the cacao butter in the bag, making it easy to remove only liquid from both. But the infused buttery and nutty notes will be in there as well. For the brown buttered rum, we simply filter it through a coffee filter. Wait until it's done and we have a clear result. Then we bottle, add a label, and that's it. We strain the chocolate liqueur the same way. And don't be afraid to reuse the butter, it still has plenty of flavor. We'll use a combination of both for the chocolate chip cookies that will make the garnish. Once that's strained as well, we need to measure how much we ended up with. To get the sweetness and dilution just right, we need to add 40 grams of brown sugar and 30 grams of water for every 100 milliliters of infusion. Once I have the right amounts measured, I'll add one more step, which is optional, but it will give the old-fashioned extra body and a silky texture. Gum Arabic. Add 1.5 grams of gum Arabic for every 10 grams of water. Use hot water and a magnetic stirrer for a quick result, or let it hydrate overnight. Once that's mixed, we can add in the sugar, and finally, the cacao and vanilla infused rum. Once the magic stir does its job, you'll end up with a wonderful mixture that's probably not sweet enough to be called dark crème de cacao, but trust me, flavor-wise it's just as good as anything you can get in the shop. Bottle the liqueur, add the label, and filter it again after a couple of days for even more clarity. It has an intense chocolate aroma with hints of vanilla and gentle nuttiness from the cacao butter. It's smooth, round, and coats the mouth with lingering cacao notes that pairs perfectly with the brown buttered rum we made earlier. We have the ingredients for the cocktail. Let's just quickly run through how to make Jeffrey Morgenthaler's chocolate chip cookies. Even if you're not into cocktails and you somehow made it this far into the episode, you'll want to save this link because these cookies are the real deal. You'll need the classics: butter, white and brown sugar, eggs, vanilla flavor, baking soda, salt, and of course plenty of chocolate chips. Cream the butter and sugars, whisk in the eggs and vanilla, then fold in the dry ingredients. Add the chocolate chips, scoop onto a baking tray, and bake on 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes until golden brown with a slightly soft center. Very important last step: sprinkle some flaky sea salt once you take them out. The recipe is on Jeffrey's website. I'll link it in the description so you can try it for yourself. Now, all we have to do is assemble this wonderful cocktail, and then is the best part: enjoying it. Get your well-chilled mixing glass first, and the clear ice block is already tempering in the rose glass, waiting for the cocktail. First I'm going in with 1.5 ounces or 45 ml of our brown buttered rum, followed by half an ounce or 15 ml of our chocolate liqueur. Next, bitters, 3 dashes of orange bitters. And lastly, to boost all of the flavors, 6 drops of 20% saline solution. Now add plenty of ice and stir until perfectly chilled and diluted. Then strain the cocktail over the large clear ice cube. Garnish with a chocolate chip cookie on the rim. And if you want to take it even further, add a small spoonful of orange marmalade on top of the cookie for a sweet and citrusy bonus bite. The aroma hits you first: rich cacao, butter, and a hint of orange. The first sip is decadent, smooth, dark chocolate up front, balanced by the warmth of the rum and a bright lift from the bitters. It's well-rounded, with a silky mouthfeel that makes you want to take a sip after sip, especially when you enjoy it with a cookie. Delicious! And with that, we wrap up our 4-part Diplomatico cocktail series. Learn more about Artisans of Taste through the link in the description. We've gone from tiki riffs, improved classics, to hot and cold creations, and now a dessert-style old-fashioned. If you have a favorite way of adding chocolate to your cocktails, let us know in the comments, or keep it to yourself so you can apply it to this year's Artisans of Taste and it just might take you to Brazil. If you missed any of the episodes along the way, here's the playlist. I'll see you next time, but for now, I've got a cookie and an old-fashioned to enjoy. Cheers!